Alright, what's up guys, your boy Retro Gamer, finally delivering you Sonic Blast from the Past Thursdays, our weekly co-host commentator series. And my co-host here is the Prince, the extraordinaire of Sonic content on YouTube. He's back to making YouTube videos. Go ahead and say something to the audience.
Yeah, one the Prince 5 here.
What's up? Okay, God. But yeah, basically what this whole co-host commentator series is that we're going to talk about something about Sonic. Probably going to pick a Sonic game from each of its history, you know, because Sonic has a huge history or a longevity, and basically just talk about our thoughts and stuff like that. So for today's show, we're going to basically talk about why we love Sonic. So both of us here, let's give a little background that I've been playing Sonic since I was about 5 or 6. He's been playing Sonic since he was younger, so we do have enough knowledge to talk about Sonic. So let's go in a little in-depth detail why you love Sonic in the first place.
I started playing Sonic as a kid around the age 5. My first system was Sega Genesis, and they had this thing called Sega Channel, and Sega Channel had a bunch of games, like any game, Sega game you could think about, they had it on there. And basically Sega Channel had like all the old school classic Sonic games: Sonic 1, 2, and 3, Sonic CD, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic Spinball, Sonic 3 Blast. They had all those, and I don't know what drew me into Sonic as a kid. I don't know if it was the music, the speed. I don't know if it was blue was my favorite color at the time. I don't know. But
well, good.
But you know, as a kid, I don't know. It was just fun to me. You know, I play any other game, but Sonic just drew me in for some strange reason.
Right. I feel you. Most definitely on that. Now, for me personally, like I was saying earlier, or we was talking before we got on, was that Nintendo was actually my first system I bought or ever owned, because of course I can't buy it that young, but you get what I'm saying. And then I moved on to Nintendo, and my family, which I have older cousins, were already on to Sonic because they played Sonic 1. Now I actually started playing Sonic 2 before Sonic 1, but basically what drew me in was the 2D platforming. And when you're that age, you don't need something that difficult to play. You just want something easy to play. And Sonic has always been an easy game to play. Basically, race to the finish. You face off on Dr. Robotnik, which was his name at the time. You battle him. You beat the boss. You move on to the next level until you get all the way to the last boss where you use Super Sonic. It's basically been easy. Now, I've always been a fan of 2D platforming. Now, a lot of people have asked me, am I an old school or a new school fan? I do like the new school engine, but me being an old school fan, I have to appreciate old school Sonic for what he is. So, you know, but I do like both. But I do like Sonic because he's a figure. He's a figure that still exists today. He's been out since 1991 or 1990, one or two years, 1991. So he's been around for a long time. He still maintained his presence as one of the most noticeable figures in the game today. So, which is pretty much why I like him today. You know. So my question to you is, why Sonic over maybe Mario or Donkey Kong or some of the figures that were out at that time? Why did you still like Sonic over most?
When I was growing up, you know, I used to be over to my grandma's house. You know, I had my cousins, older cousins over there with the Super Nintendo, and you know, they had Mega Man X and Super Mario World and Mario Kart, Super Metroid. They had all of that, but none of that really had interested me. It was just every time Sonic. And when I was a kid, I didn't know his name, so I used to call him the Blue Dude. So the Blue Dude was my favorite game.
Something about that blue. Sure.
So yeah, you know, the speed, you know, it was crazy for Mario. You know, Mario was challenging. You know, you had to time your jumps and everything. But Sonic, it was just speed, going forward, jump a few times. You know, not that much things to bother you on the map or in the zone that make you die as much. So it was pretty easy for me as a kid. So that's my main reason why I like Sonic as a kid. You know.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Now, since you know Sonic is the topic of choice here, let's go ahead. It would be unfair to talk about Sega's most recent game that came out, and Sonic Generations. Now, there have been varying opinions on how people feel. I personally like the game, but let me ask you this: did you like the game? What did you like about the game, and what could have been better about the game?
When I first played Sonic Generations, it didn't really got me into it like any other Sonic game, because first of all, the story had seemed interesting at first, but as it got deeper into the game, it kind of like yeah whatever.
Right, yeah.
So, but the gameplay itself was amazing. Modern Sonic and classic Sonic. It was fun. You know, I platinumed the game, got all the trophies for the game. I still play it to this day. I pre-ordered the game, got the DLC, all that, and it's pretty much fun, you know, the challenges and all that.
Right. Now, from my perspective, just like he did, bought it day one, pre-ordered it, liked the game, enjoyed the game. I also agree that the story mode was very shallow, very shallow. I mean, like the last boss was the same time machine that you saw at the beginning. Not much of a boss. The last boss. Now, I do like the fact that you could use Super Sonic and Sonic. Well, I mean, Super Classic and Super Modern both at the same time. I do agree, not to spoil anything for those who haven't got there yet or who don't have the game yet, but I did enjoy that. But the last boss itself was weak. But I want to go to the pros of the game. I mean, I did like the fact that they enhanced the graphics 10 times better than what Sonic Unleashed was. I mean, if you put Sonic Unleashed, which was the last Sonic game they put on console, and compare that to Sonic Generation, you can tell they put a lot of time into the graphics. As I was telling you earlier, Chemical Plant Modern looks like a 3D aquarium. I mean, they really did put time into the graphics. I mean, it's fast paced, which was good, and it was very fun, very entertaining to play, entertaining to look at. My biggest thing that I noticed was the camera. Now, as I was also telling you earlier, the worst camera angle game had to have been Sonic 06. Big time. I mean, you couldn't play that game because of the camera. The camera was so bad that you could literally crash into a wall, and you didn't even want to control Sonic that way, but somehow the camera dragged you into a wall. Or it was just so glitchy. Now, the story mode to Sonic 06 was good, but the camera was bad. So basically my point is this, is that in this game the camera was a non-factor. You didn't have to worry about crashing into a wall. Sonic can move as fast as he wanted to without having to worry about, you know, any camera angles, which has pretty much been the knock on Sonic games. Is that the camera. This game, the camera is no issue. You can use you can finally use Sonic the way he's meant to be used. Fast, but controlled. Basically, he's controlled, but he can still move as fast as he wants. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't have any issues with Sonic. The gameplay was on point. I have to get the gameplay on point. The gameplay was awesome to play. So what could they have done to make Sonic Generations better?
What really had disappointed me is that they did not have no X at all from Sonic 3.
Oh, most definitely, yes. That's the biggest thing. I forgot about that. Yes, Sonic 3. I don't know, and which happens to be honestly my favorite out of the old school Sonic games.
Sonic 3.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm glad you brought that up about having no X, because what I tell people about Sonic Generations is that yes, the maps that they have on there are good. The only one that I didn't like, honestly, was the remake of Crisis City. But everything else, I don't know if you agree with that, but Crisis City was the only one I didn't like. But they left out some very good maps. Like, I thought Mushroom Hill Zone could have been on there. Thought Lava Reef Zone could have been on there. I mean,
Carnival
you as a
Night was
Sonic,
one of my favorites too.
yeah, Lava Reef Zone, just the music itself
Yep.
should have been on there. If they weren't gonna, put the map on there, the song itself should have been on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand how Lava Reef Zone could have not been on there. One of my favorite maps, period.
Yeah.
Now, as a Sonic fan, even Marble Garden, Marble Zone, yeah, could have been on there. I mean, what's on there is great. Basically, what I'm saying is, it could have been a couple more maps that deserve to be on there. Now, let me ask you this question. On the flip side, we talked about what maps could have been on there. What maps would you? I mean, if they were only given 10 maps, I think it was 9 or 10 maps on Sonic Generations. Out of those maps, what would you have taken off to add some of the maps that we mentioned?
I agree with you with Crisis City. Let's see what else.
I like most of them. I ain't gonna lie, I like most of them.
Pretty much, they was pretty good. I think.
go ahead.
What's that one? Planet Wisp from
Planet Wisp from Colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been taken off there. It was only reason why I would keep that on there because it added a little bit of complexity to the game.
Yeah.
That map wasn't a straight run through map.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So that's why I would keep that on there. But yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would keep it on there. But if I had to take it off, I would. I like Sky Sanctuary, but it could have been on there. It couldn't have been. If it meant putting Lava Reef on there and taking Sky Sanctuary off, yes.
Yeah.
I think Lava Reef Zone is a better map than a more enjoyable map than Sky Sanctuary. Let's be honest.
I agree.
So that's an interesting point, and I want you guys to, in the comment section, talk about that. If there was any map that you wanted to add on there, what would it be? And if they had to take a map off that was already on there, what would it be? Would be taken off to add that map? That's actually a good discussion. I'm interested in hearing what you guys will put in the comment section for that.
Yeah.
But getting to the last segment, and we might even carry that on to our next blast from the past. That's a very good topic. But moving on to the last segment, we got the extraordinaire here that knows all about Sonic games. He wants to go ahead and talk about what's coming up for this year. What Sega has coming up for this year.
Okay, recent news. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. The trailer was recently released about a month ago, I think. About a month ago. And they haven't shown much from the trailer. It was just like a little to get you hype, teaser, like, oh my gosh, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right.
So,
right.
You see in the trailer, Metal Sonic is making a return. Tails is going to be in the game, and they got some kind of superpower they supposed to do together. And they haven't released much information on this game like they did with just throwing all kind of sneak peeks of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1. They're not really doing that with Episode 2, so I really can't say much. But I heard as a rumor that for the engine, the model of Sonic, they might be using the model of Sonic and Sonic Generation, the classic Sonic.
Okay, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Quick question here: did you like Episode 1?
I really did not like Episode 1.
Me neither. I didn't. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's not Sonic.
No.
I mean, everyone who plays Sonic, especially the classic fans, which basically Sonic 4 Episode 1 was supposed to be an extension off of Sonic 3.
Right.
And they play nothing alike. Like Sonic 3 is still better than Sonic 4.
Yeah. Sonic for Episode 1 was like a Nintendo DS game to me.
So I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but I would love to see Sonic Adventure 2 on console remake.
Me too. That's a big major.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of fans. A lot of fans love Child Garden. I think it's the kids that like it.
I don't know why. I never was really into it like that though.
Me either. I didn't really too much.
I know that's what a lot of people have been telling me. I want to remake a Sonic Adventure 2 for the Garden. I'm like, really? Like the gameplay and the storyline itself is enough reason for me to want it. If the Child Garden wasn't on there, I wouldn't care. Honestly, like I wouldn't care. You know. And lastly, because I'm really interested in knowing when they're gonna remake that. I really want them to remake it this year. Hopefully they do. Last question: Sonic CD, yay or nay? Did you like it?
Yeah, Sonic CD always been a favorite of mine since a kid, so I give that an A+.
All right, that's cool. I haven't beaten it on a remake yet, but I did play it on Sega Saturn when it was out, and I enjoyed it. But I heard they made some changes, as you just mentioned, with Tails and all of that. So I gotta check that out. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Sonic Blast from the Past. You got any last words, Prince?
Nah, yeah, go check my page out, Wonder Prince 5. As people watch my video, people call me Prince. So if you wanna contact me, just call me Prince, not Wonder Prince 5.
Alright, well, you heard it from him. Check out his channel, comment, rate, subscribe. Next week we're gonna be talking about, we're gonna pick up on that question about map replacements and on Sonic Generation. I think that's a very good discussion to make. But until then, it's your boy Retro. That's the Prince. We're out.